Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And welcome back
to
the show.
That's right. Episode 244.
Oh my God, that's so many episodes.
Too many.
Should we quit? I know we check in every once in a while.
Every once in a blue moon we realize how many.
And we say, maybe that's too many.
And I think it is.
So I think this is, so welcome to the last episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Bye, guys.
We really appreciated having you here.
It's been real. It's been really fun.
It's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just kidding. You have us for at least 250 more, or until you guys stop paying us. Really.
Really. That is very true. But hello.
Hello. I have devastating news.
What?
I think I'm allergic to caffeine.
Oh, you're definitely allergic to caffeine, babe.
Guys.
I don't think it's an I think.
Look how steady my hand is. I haven't had caffeine in a week.
She has no shakes.
I haven't been shaky at all.
Her eczema flare-ups are gone.
My eczema cleared up immediately. I did not know this was a thing. Did not know it was a thing.
You learn something new every day.
So I was on the good old TikTok. Welcome back. It's like old TikTok, but shittier.
Yeah, guys. Remember when we talked about the TikTok ban last week? Turns out.
You guys, we record the episode and then 4 days go by and then it releases. Okay. So like sometimes things happening. Like, yes, Elon Musk is a fucking freak and in my opinion, a Nazi. That was a Nazi salute.
In my opinion.
If you know anyone who's trying to defend it to you, you should just be like, okay, then do it. You go. You do it. Let's go to the mall and you can do that.
Do it right here at the bar.
Do it right here. Do it at the bar.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how quick you get your fucking ass beat. Well, at least in California, you get your ass beat.
Absolutely.
I'm afraid there's some towns I know that people would start going with you. But,
yeah, start doing it too.
But yeah, so yeah, we did not see any of that happen. We didn't know anything. We're in the past. You have to remember this. We're in the past.
Every time we're in the past. Yeah.
We're not a live podcast. This is happening in the past. So just remember that next time. But
TikTok is back. That's what we're trying to get at.
TikTok is back, except for it's shittier. But it did teach me that I'm allergic to caffeine, I think.
It did.
So
you definitely are.
For the last year, I've been struggling with some issues with like my face. Like swelling and then most recently like eczema. And then obviously you guys know that I'm a really shaky person. And my shakiness has gotten like way worse. But I was like, I don't drink that much caffeine. Like I maybe have like there's some days, especially recording days, like I would usually drink caffeine because I'm like, I need to be up, you know? Like those are the days that I would drink it. But I saw this girl on TikTok and she posted that she found out she was allergic to caffeine. And when she stopped drinking it, her eczema cleared up. And I was like, I literally texted Amanda and was like, I'm about to say something so horrible that you can't even imagine it. I think I'm going to try to not drink any pop because I already don't drink coffee because it makes me literally sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Like I have coffee like once every 3 months and every single time I remember, oh no, it's torture, which apparently isn't normal. Other people can just drink coffee. So I texted Amanda. I was like, yeah, I'm going to like no Diet Coke, no Diet Dr. Pepper. It's just really hard for me because I really like those little guys. I get the mini cans.
The mini cans?
And they're so, because I can't finish a full one.
My gosh.
I get a mini can. And
you can't even finish a full one and that caffeine was doing that much to you?
Yeah. So I cut all caffeine out of my life. No espresso martinis.
That's got to be the worst. No espresso martinis. Like,
no Diet Coke.
Are you?
No Dr. Pepper Zero. And unfortunately, it did immediately fix like 90% of my issues. My facial swelling went down. My eczema went away. My boyfriend even said, he was like, oh, your eyes are back to their normal shape. And I was like, God almighty, this is embarrassing.
I need to get you a shirt that says, don't even think about handing me that espresso martini.
I don't want to wear it.
Well, you should.
Here's the thing. Am I going to probably have an espresso martini or a Diet Coke eventually? Yes. I just now know I can't like have it be a daily part of my life.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, yeah, I'll have one you know, because I used to literally, because coffee makes me so sick, I would like wake up and have a Coke Zero. And now I'm like, okay, well, I can't. Well, you know, I wake up at 11, so like that's appropriate.
True, that's true. I was like, the morning I wake up,
no,
have a little Diet Coke.
Yeah. Say a little prayer for me. Don't pray for me because I can't drink them anymore. But yeah, I did find that out, which makes sense. Like even my mom, I had like 2 Coke Zeros before I saw my mom the last time I saw her. And she literally goes like, why are you shaking like that? And I was like, oh, this just kind of happens. And she was kind of like, that's not normal. But she was trying to,
I've been telling you this.
She was like trying to be really nice about it. But she was like, kind of like, that's not normal. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just like this. I don't know. And then I literally stopped drinking caffeine. And like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm still like kind of a shaky person.
No, you're pretty like,
but like,
you're
come on,
not shaky at all.
This is crazy. I have like a little tremor happening, but like, that's baseline.
Compared to what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would pick up a drink and be like,
oh, I know.
And it was embarrassing, right? Like, so it's an embarrassing thing because everyone always thinks that you're like
doing something
on
else.
drugs or whatever, withdrawing or whatever. And I'm like, no, I literally just had like a Diet Coke. And so, yeah.
I just had a Diet Coke this morning. That's it.
But I quit and now it sucks.
She quit cold turkey.
I did do it cold turkey.
I'm so proud of you.
Hard to do.
I'm so proud of you. You're doing great, sweetie.
Honestly, like I was telling Amanda this earlier, you know what? Like being allergic to caffeine is annoying. And obviously I didn't get like a medical diagnosis, but like clearly it fixed many issues that I was having. But it could be worse. Like I could be allergic to dairy or I could be gluten intolerant.
Horrible.
Like those are all things that would be way worse. So like, yes, it's annoying, but they also do make caffeine-free Diet Coke. So
they just don't taste as good.
They don't taste as good.
But it's okay.
Because it's not Coke Zero. And
Coke Zero
does taste better.
The best. I love Coke Zero.
I know. And now I can never, like my go-to at a bar when I'm not sure what I want is like a Jack and Coke, a Jack and Diet. Never again.
Never again.
Like that's so sad actually.
You're just going to have to. What? Oh no, what? What?
Baja Blast.
Ew, gross.
I love Baja Blast. I know you hate it.
I hate it.
You and Kate both hate it.
It's disgusting.
But I love Baja Blast and it has so much caffeine in it. Well, so this is my goodbye tour to all those beautiful drinks. I love
So long, farewell.
I love an Americana when I'm hungover.
Auf Wiedersehen, adieu.
This is goodbye. It was nice to know you, Diet Coke. I was trying to harmonize with you, and then I realized I was just matching your exact tone. It was not harmonization at all.
I think that was a good farewell.
But yeah, so if you guys are thinking about sending me any treats, because you guys do like to do that, which by the way, we did get 2 new treat packages and they're amazing.
We did, yes.
Who was the one who sent us the brownies?
Shane.
I
can't wait to make those.
Rum brownies. We're making those for our next girls' night.
Can't wait.
Thank you. And then we got some Canadian goodies from
Joe.
I was going to say Joe.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I think.
But you guys wrote us cute little notes and they're really sweet. And we just thank you so much for the stickers and all the fun stuff you guys send us. Like, we really do appreciate them. I hope you know, like, we actually really do appreciate them. We're not one of those people that's like, cool, and like throws it away.
No, we like put the stickers on our laptops, on our water bottles.
Oh, Amanda just gave me a new water bottle and I was like, fuck yeah, now I have a cool new place to put stickers.
Yeah, we get so many stickers from you guys and we love them. Speaking of gifts, I did want to show you something.
Oh, what?
So my friend Tyler, he knows that I obviously have this podcast and I like true crime and spooky stuff. So I hadn't seen him in a while and he brought me a Christmas present.
Okay.
So one of the things he got me was the Murder Book of Days.
This feels like cheating. Like now you're just going to have like an endless fucking story.
Well, it's every single day of the year.
I see Albert Fish right there.
And it's the murder that took place on that day of the year.
Interesting.
So I thought that was really fun.
That is really fun.
So it's like
really sad, but also really fun.
Yeah, obviously it's sad, but like
you can't like really commit yourself to reading that every day because it will bum you out.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like, if you're just like, today is July 11th. What murder took place? Let me check. Or someone wants to know, I wonder what murder took place today. I can tell you.
Thank you, Tyler.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, I have no idea if this is real or not. The website I ordered it from said it was legit.
Don't they all?
He literally bought me.
I'm worried.
This is actual dirt from Heaven's Gate.
Stop.
I don't know. He was like, I don't know if it's real or not, but it said it was real.
You know how I feel about Heaven's Gate.
I know. I knew you were going to love it.
How come I don't have any friends like this?
Well, it's ours. It belongs to the pod, you know?
That's like low-key crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
I feel like we could do some summoning rituals
We
with
absolutely
this.
could.
I'm really into rituals right now.
Think about what we could do with that.
We could do so many rituals, like for real.
So if this is really dirt from Heaven's Gate, guys, just know we have this in our possession.
I saw the Heaven's Gate bunk beds.
Did you?
At the Museum of Death.
Oh.
Which I still feel very ethically torn about going there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah. Wow. Thanks, Tyler.
Oh, he also got me, I didn't even see this, a true crime collector's card thing.
Let me
Collectible comic graphic movie cards.
Why didn't you open it?
I don't know. I was waiting to show you.
Should we open it right now?
Sure.
Do you want to open it?
You can open it.
Okay, so it's a true crime G-men, mass murderers, serial killers, and gangsters. 12 collectible cards in every pack. Official true crime trading cards. 3-ring binder. Oh, you can get a 3-ring binder to put them in.
Oh, like a Pokemon.
All right, you hear the ASMR.
Oh. My worst nightmare.
Well, I mean, this is a good noise.
That's true. It's not the worst.
It's not chewing. Oh, okay. Ooh, let's see who we got. Oh, are you ready? Okay.
Okay. Who do we got?
John Dillinger. In 1924, 21-year-old Don Dillinger, an Indiana farmer's son and Navy deserter. Oh, he's a deserter.
Oh.
Received a 10-year sentence for his part in a failed minor robbery.
Oh, just a robbery. He didn't murder anyone. I like that.
And then it gets worse.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he is a gangster.
Oh.
We got a gangster on our hands. In 1934, the gang was vacationing in Arizona when they were captured. Looks like they maybe shot some people.
I don't mean to laugh
sorry,
at that.
There's too much.
Not funny,
here.
but are these all like true crime?
We got Dutch Schultz on our hands.
Oh, isn't he the treasure guy? No, he probably killed somebody. I don't know.
No, I think they're all killers.
Interesting.
This guy's a gangster. I think these are all gangsters. We might have gotten all gangsters.
Oh, all gangsters.
Oh, no, this guy's a serial killer and or mass murderer.
Oh, okay.
Earl Leonard Nelson.
I just want to know who I'm supposed to be trading these with. Because they're trading cards. Who do I trade with?
That's a good, who are you trading
with? It's not
with?
like a Pokemon card, you know?
He was convicted. Oh, this guy was convicted of the death of 20 women. He was hanged in 1928.
Oh.
They hanged his ass.
Good.
Yeah, on the back it says whether or not they were a gangster. Like this is a Albert Henry DeSalvo. Oh, DeSalvo, yeah. They're all like pretty old, like 1940s. They're not like putting like fucking Israel Keys on this, I don't think. Yeah.
The next one you see, Israel Keys.
Israel Keys. No, I'm just kidding. Wow. Oh, we got a couple.
Oh, a couple.
Starkweather and Fugate. This is crazy. These are actually like really interesting. Very dark, but
yeah, these are dark.
I like the gangster ones.
It's so interesting to me.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre. They just have a massacre in here, which is another gangster one.
Yeah.
Frank Needy. Take a guess. I'm sorry, I don't mean to generalize Italian Americans, but
is he a mama's boy?
Probably. Look, he has the face of one. Anna Sage, the Lady in Red. She's a gangster
Lady in Red.
Ooh, that connects to one of your other ones. It said C, Lady in Red.
Oh.
Interesting. Huh. Wow, these are cool. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Morbid, but I like it.
Very morbid. I think it's interesting because when people know about our podcast, I feel like the first thing that comes to their head is true crime.
Yeah, which is funny.
Which is like my least favorite.
Don't cover true crime that
and
often.
it's my least favorite topic to cover too.
Ironically, I'm covering a true crime story today. But,
oh, are you?
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting because I'm like, that's actually not what I like. I like ghosts.
Well, I was going to say, and it says on our website that you're the true crime lover.
Not anymore.
At first, that's all you covered was true crime.
Yes,
I think
did.
just because it was a quick find.
I think it was a quick find. I think it was what I consumed. Like, I consumed true crime a lot.
Yeah, like you listen to like My Favorite Murder.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
Wine and Crime.
Yeah, when we first started, that's like all I liked.
Yeah.
And then as the podcast kind of started going, I feel like I found my true love, which is the paranormal, aliens. Like, that's what I really like. That's my thing. That's what I really love. And that's why I stopped listening to other podcasts, because I'm like, this is what I actually am more interested in.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Like, I don't listen to true crime ever anymore.
Me either, really. I mean, I still watch a lot of documentaries, and most documentaries are true crime.
I do like documentaries, but I don't listen. Like, I can't even tell you the last time I listened to like a true crime podcast or a true crime story. Like, I feel like I used to listen to it because it, like, you know how people say like listening to true crime like calms you down for some reason or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of like that thing I talked about where I was like, oh, reading the news, like,
yeah,
it's like microdosing anxiety.
Yeah. So like that's what I did. But also now I'm also just way too busy to listen to other podcasts. So
that's the hardest part, is I just would always rather be listening to a book.
Yeah. I would always just rather be watching TV.
Girl, I got my stats for so everyone else is like, oh, my Spotify. I don't have Spotify. I got my stats for my Audible.
Oh boy.
Do you want to hear this?
I do.
It's like I should be put down in the streets like a dog.
Oh my goodness.
It's upsetting. Like, my stepsister and my mom share an account, and they did not reach the same levels as me.
I would love to know how many hours of work you put in here.
Do you want to guess how many hours I listened to books last year?
Okay, this is a whole year.
A whole year.
Okay, let's see. I feel books are long, first of all. So like that's going to be a couple hours, right?
Okay.
How many hours are in a day?
24.
Okay. I knew that. I knew that.
Sure you did.
I cannot believe I just said that on the air. Like, I knew that. I know
Guys,
that.
remember that we're in the past and you're the future, and now she knows that.
Wow. Okay. I'm crying. Okay. I'm gonna go. How many hours in a day? What is wrong with me? I'm gonna go. I'm really bad at math, so I don't know why I'm even trying here. 72,000 hours. I don't know how many hours in a year.
Did you never see Rent?
520. I know that song.
72,000 hours.
I sang that song.
Sorry. How many days?
525.
72,600
minutes.
1,000 hours. Okay. That's 3,000 days.
Okay, well, you should have told me how many hours are in a year before you made me guess. Okay.
Well, now this feels very unsubstantial.
Okay, well, how many hours are in a year?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. Oh, you don't know.
Why the hell would I know that? You don't know how many hours were in a day. Shut up. 87,660.
Oh.
8,760.
Oh, 8,000.
Okay. Sorry.
You're dyslexic.
I am. Okay, so
I was way off.
Okay. A year has, so if I was listening 24/7 for the entire year, it would be 8,760.
Okay, so I'm gonna go 2,000.
2,000. Still over.
Oh, okay.
I listened for 1,439 hours and 32 minutes, which is equivalent to over 40 days.
Oh, wow.
So quite a bit. I listened to
books?
80 different books.
80?
And my longest stretch was for 13 hours and 55 minutes straight on November 4th.
Were you okay on that day?
I was really, really sick. And so I just had Lord of the Rings books playing in the background while I tried not to die.
That was the day after I put bleach all over my head. So
yeah, remember I was so sick that week. Yeah.
We were both going through it.
We were going through it.
So
something was happening. I don't know how to explain it.
13 hours listening to books. That's wild.
For one day, yeah. Well, remember I was so sick I literally couldn't even open my eyes. So I couldn't even put on TV. So I just put on the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you're like, I can't watch Lord of the Rings.
Well, and one of the things that's interesting to me is it was like only 80 titles. And then I remembered that I bought an audiobook that had 30 books in it. So it was like a collection. It was called the Ultimate Horror Collection.
And that only counts for one book?
I think it only counts as one title. But it's called the Ultimate Horror Collection. It has like 15 different books from H.P. Lovecraft. It has like the original Dracula, the original Frankenstein. It's like all those gothic horror classics. So I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because I was like, how did I not read or listen to more books? Because I like listen to books and I also read books. And I was like,
wait, you read books too?
Yeah.
Like you physically read books and you also listen to 80 books.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I probably listened to closer to like 110.
Oh my God.
But listening's so easy. You just put it on when you're like doing the dishes or if you can't sleep, you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I listen to things. They're just not books.
Yeah. That's why I think you'd be into audiobooks if you ever like just let yourself do it.
I genuinely try. I listened to 13 chapters of what is that one? As the Thorn something.
What?
Turns a Rose. I don't know. What is that one that everyone's obsessed
with?
I
thought you and your husband were trying to read books to each other.
Yeah, we stopped that after 2 seconds.
Okay. That did not last.
No. What is it called? What's that book that everyone likes? Actor?
Oh, A Court of Thorns and Roses.
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah.
That's the one. As the thorns turn to the rose.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say As the World Turns. And I'm like, that's a TV show, first of all.
You know, that one. I listened to 13 chapters of it and I just like could not get into it. It was weird.
That is weird.
The only time I genuinely really got into a book in the last 15 years was Hunger Games.
That's not true.
What do you mean?
Because you were
Don't say the name. Don't say the name.
I won't say the name, but I was going to say that's not true because I know there's another book that you read voraciously. Foaming at the mouth.
One liked that book series for the record. Okay.
I have no comment. I have not read that book, or it's a series.
It's a 3, but it's like the Hunger Games. Hunger Games is a trilogy, right?
It's just like the Hunger Games
for sex.
I did not read those. No.
Oh, did you see the movies?
No.
Oh, they're so bad.
Yeah,
they're literally the worst movies.
Nothing
I've ever
about
seen.
those movies interests me.
They are quite literally the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
I'm like exactly that bitch. That's like when people are like, "Oh, everyone's too prude now. Nobody likes sex scenes." That's me. I'm the person who doesn't like sex scenes.
Also, when I was reading those books, and if you guys can't figure out what book I'm talking about, then that's on you.
Then you're too young. You shouldn't be listening to this
podcast. Yeah, that's on you. That's not on me. When I was reading those books, I was like, I noticed grammar issues.
Oh yeah, it's that's
if I noticed grammar issues,
because it was just that it was Twilight.
Like I could have wrote those books.
You know that it was Twilight fan fiction, right?
Yeah,
that's like how it started.
Yeah,
that's why
I could have wrote that.
She even got sued, I think, and they like.
I think so. Yeah,
I don't even know if she made that much money off of it because she got sued because she literally it was Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah, those were interesting books, that's for sure. But Hunger Games I liked. I liked Hunger Games.
You were reading them on a plane, I remember.
Yeah, I was. And I was very uncomfortable. Because then as I'm reading the sex scenes, I'm realizing people know what I'm reading.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So never again. That's what, I stopped reading after that. Maybe I was traumatized.
It traumatized you.
Yeah.
You had a traumatic reading incident.
Yeah. I said, I'm never reading again. And I haven't.
Too bad.
So
hate when that happens. But yeah, I read a lot of books. I reread Dracula and Frankenstein this year because they made Nosferatu, which is based on Dracula.
Yes.
And then they're making with that tall guy, that really big tall boy, Jacob Elordi.
Oh, I was like, that big tall boy. Frankenstein.
He's playing Frankenstein.
Yeah.
He's playing Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein's monster.
Not to be that person, but yeah.
Yes.
And then I also read...
why? Never mind.
Why what?
I don't want to get into... I don't want to get into why...
No.
We call Frankenstein, but he's not actually Frankenstein.
Yeah, he does, because he doesn't have a name.
But why do we call him Frankenstein?
I think it's just one of those things that happens. It's kind of like drinking the Kool-Aid, right? People just started saying that, even though it wasn't Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid.
Yeah.
So it just becomes part of vernacular, and then people just say it. And like, how many people do you know who have actually read the book?
You.
And I would assume like there's movies and stuff, and they're all titled Frankenstein. They're not titled like Dr. Frankenstein's monster or whatever. So I think that's probably, and it's like Frankenstein's bride.
Yeah.
And I think that's what did it. Those old movies. I can't remember. I mean, I haven't seen those like old black and white ones in forever, like since I was probably in film school. But they probably call it Frankenstein in that. I can't remember. But and then I read My Dark Prodigy, which is this is it. Sorry. It's Our Hideous Progeny.
Oh.
I was just thinking of a different book, and I was combining two titles. Our Hideous Progeny. Progeny. And it's basically like Frankenstein told if Dr. Frankenstein was a woman, and just the way that they interact with their creation. Okay. Amanda's like, can't wait for it to be a movie.
Yeah. Once again, haven't read a book in a decade. So I listened to this many minutes of the Jonas Brothers.
Embarrassing.
Couldn't tell you how many minutes because I don't even know how many hours are in a day.
I'm so embarrassing. Yeah. How many hours are in a day again? Well, how about we listen to some people who spent their time listening to us?
Yes, we love that.
And we welcome our new cool kids.
Let's do that.
So welcome to Rihanna B.
Hello, Rihanna.
Or Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Could go either way.
It could. Either way is pretty.
Iconic. Kelsey B.
Hello, Kelsey.
And Sierra C.
Hello, Sierra.
Thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon. Once again, this is one of the only reasons we get to keep doing this podcast, and we just totally dig you.
We do. We love you so much.
And then we had someone buy us some beers, and this is the sweetest. You're going to love this.
Oh, no. I'm excited.
Okay. So this is from Danny. And Danny bought us some beers and said, cheers to two of my favorite people. Have a couple drinks and some pup or kitty treats on me. And Anna to celebrate my first bonus from my big girl job and my birthday on the 24th. Aquarius air sign. Hello. Anna, who's 10, adores you both and wanted me to remind you how slay you are.
Slay?
From a youngster. That's nice.
Oh my gosh.
I can't tell you to how much I appreciate your sass, your humor, your empathy, your curiosity, and just plain down-to-earthness. Sometimes I go back and re-listen to your old episodes waiting for Wednesday. The McMillions recap was hilarious, by the way. Looking forward to this next recap. Your content keeps my eyes open and also helps me after a stressful day of work and keeps me company on my long commute. Always remember that you have friends wherever you visit or whenever you visit Western Washington. Amanda, you would have to get some good boots, though. Love.
I will.
Love you girls, Danny and Anna. Anna bought the pup and kitty treats herself with her allowance.
Are you kidding me?
Isn't that so cute?
Don't make me cry. What? That is so cute.
Happy birthday, Danny. We actually just shouted out Anna for her 10th birthday.
Yeah.
Not long ago. That's so sweet.
Why are you crying?
Because you're crying.
Oh my God.
I'm a little bit of a sympathetic crier there. Can I say it? Can I let that out into the world?
That is, oh my gosh. Anna, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And Danny, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Wow. We love you both so much.
We do. And just thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Once again, the only reason we get to keep doing the podcast is because of viewers like you. And we seriously just appreciate it so much. It's been such a crazy, wild ride the last almost 5 years now.
Oh my God.
And we just are thankful for every moment of it. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Glad you guys could be here when I figured out I can't have caffeine. I'm sure there's many people fucking going, yeah, you dumb idiot. You talk about how shaky and freaky you are all the time.
They're like, I literally could have told you that 3 years ago.
They're like, we saw one clip once on the YouTube and we're like, oh, she should not be allowed near caffeine ever.
Cassidy's like, I had 3 Diet Cokes this morning and now I'm drinking an espresso martini. This is so crazy. I don't know why I feel this way.
I don't know what's going on with my heart. Why is it palpitating? There's a lot. Yeah. But yeah, seriously, thank you. You guys have been through so much with us. Death of pets, breakups, fucking
oh my God.
Huge life changes,
Wow.
all sorts of things. I mean, really think about it.
Yeah.
I know sometimes somebody will message me and be like, I'm on episode 18. And I'm like, you don't know what horrors await you.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh no, what did I say?
Who was that? I don't even know that
I'm like,
girl.
I literally could not. If I said something, I'm so sorry.
I do not know that girl.
Don't know what I said.
At all.
Couldn't tell you.
Listen, we've always been consistent on one thing. Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Free Palestine.
Yes.
Trans Lives Matter.
Yep.
And fuck the police coming straight from the underground. That's basically been our message since the beginning. So I think, there's not too much out there.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? As long as we still stick by that, we're good.
Yeah. But on that note, should we get started?
Let's get started.
Let's do it. All right. So today I have a pretty bummer story. I'm not going to lie. I know. I'm sorry. But somebody, and I'm really, really sorry about this because I usually always write it down when someone recommends a story to me. But one of our cool kids recommended this to me. I cannot remember who it was. I was literally searching through my DMs and through our Patreon messages. I can't remember. But I literally had it written down on my request list. So somebody did. And I'm sorry. Feel free to message me. I'll shout you out next week. I'm going to be covering the case of Kennedy Ife.
Okay.
Yes. So my sources today were...
I know this story.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
For a second, I thought that we covered it before, but apparently not. So my sources today were like a few BBC articles, an article in The Independent by Lizzie Dearden, an article on medium.com, and that was by Sundas Farid Fayaz, and of course, a little Wikipedia.
Well, I don't know this story, but I
have heard of it.
This was on my list.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So the Ife family is a Nigerian family that lives in North London, and it consisted of a mom, a dad, and 6 sons. So Kenneth was the father. He was 64 years old. Josephine, the mother, was 56 years old. Kennedy, who this whole story is about, was 26. And his brothers were Roy, 33, Harry, 32, Colin, also 26. I don't know if they were twins because his 2 younger brothers, Samuel and Daniel, were also both 20. So I don't know if if she just had them really fast or if they were actually twins. I was trying to find that, but I couldn't.
A lot of the time, well, not a lot of the time, but I have seen this in many cases where if you have that many children and you have twins running in your family, you will have 2 sets of twins.
Yeah, I don't know for sure because I was trying to look it up, but that's obviously not what comes up when you Google these people. So the family was extremely well off, highly educated. All of the sons had like pretty good jobs. The dad worked in finance, the mom worked in marketing, and they all lived together in a like huge 8-bedroom house, mansion style in North London.
If you're gonna have that many children, you better have a big ass house for them.
Yeah, and they all still live together despite the oldest brother being 33.
He's like, I'm not leaving home.
Yeah, he's like, they got a mansion.
I live
here.
in a mansion. What you want me to leave?
So in August of 2016, Kennedy had a sore throat. So he had complained to his family about this. And he had recently been to a buffet like the day before. It was like a Chinese buffet. And so his mom was like, you probably just have food poisoning or you caught something there. As we know, buffets aren't known to be the most sanitary of eating situations.
I love a buffet.
I do also, unfortunately, love a buffet. Yes. So as the days are going by, his throat seems to only be getting worse. So he does go to the doctor, but the doctor told him it seems like it's just a, sore throat. It's a little irritated or inflamed. It should clear up shortly. And he's like, just take some ibuprofen and drink some water and you're going to be fine. Right? And sends him home.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells the doctor it doesn't feel like a sore throat. It feels like something is crawling around in my throat. That's what he says. And the doctor's like, no, it's going to be fine. Just like I said, like drink lots of water and take some pain relievers. You're going to be fine. But unfortunately, Kennedy's symptoms did not get better. And he began to have stomach pains and then severe mood swings. So his family was growing more and more concerned, of course, but he was still going to work. And they were just like, you know what, we'll just keep bringing him water and food and try to take care of him through this illness.
Kennedy's 26.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that name, by the way.
Kennedy. Yeah, it's a cool name. And they also were like, okay, because he was like getting like really mean and like irritable, but they were like, okay, well, he's sick. So who isn't in a bad mood when they're sick, which I get. Like when I'm sick, everything annoys me. Mm-hmm. If I have a headache, everything annoys, you just kind of get irritable. Absolutely. When you don't feel well. So this goes on for a few days, and eventually it's so bad that Kennedy actually stops going into his job. He works as an IT person, and he's like not able to go in because he's so sick. He's like curled up in bed with stomach pains, and he says his throat is killing him, and he actually stops eating and drinking completely because his throat is hurting him so much. So he starts losing some weight, like literally over a few days, because he's just not consuming liquids or food at all. His family, of course, is becoming increasingly worried about him. And one day, two of his brothers go in to check on him, and he's actually curled up in the corner of his bedroom talking to himself. And they're like, oh, he's like delusional. Because he's like curled up in this corner and he's talking to himself. They think maybe he hadn't been sleeping because he was feeling really sick, and he was like making him go insane. At one point, they do insist that he goes to the doctor, and he refuses. He says, I'm not going to the doctor. I'm staying here. I just need to like sweat this out, basically. Which I mean, makes sense. They say that like even driving when you're super tired is more dangerous than drinking and driving, which as we know, like drinking and driving is horrible. So like when you're really sleep deprived, you can be in a really bad mental state.
I mean, when I'm really, really, really tired and I'm behind the wheel, it's almost like your eyes start to get blurry.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
So tired. And you're like, I just want to get home and get to bed so bad. But it's like really scary and it's really dangerous, and you should not drive like that.
No, you should not. Yeah. Like I said, like there's tons of studies out there that are like, because we all know drinking and driving is super dangerous and really bad. And like there's so many studies out there being like, if you're exhausted and driving, that's almost just as bad and sometimes worse. Yeah.
Me and my husband have had to, we were driving home from Vegas one time, and I was driving and I was so tired, and he was so tired. He was sleeping. I had to pull into a parking lot and we took a 4-hour nap.
And that's the responsible thing to do. That really is. Yeah. At this point, it's only like a week and a half after his doctor's visit. And his family is like, okay, you're clearly very sick. You need to go back to the doctor. They beg him to go to the doctor, go to the ER, but Kennedy outright refuses. He says, I'm not going. And let's keep in mind, this is a 26-year-old man. His family does not feel like they can force him to go. So they just keep trying to do what they can, bringing him water and trying to get him to eat small things when he has moments of calmness.
I wonder why he doesn't want to go. Like, I know the doctor sucks. Like, nobody wants to go to the doctor, but I would go to the doctor if it was paid for.
I also feel like at this point, like mentally, he is not sound.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like we were just talking about with sleep deprivation. Yeah. So this is where things get even weirder. And also, like, obviously, all of this about like his family trying to get him to go to the doctor and stuff, that's all from their mouths. We don't know how hard they actually tried to get him to go, because as you'll see as the story progresses, they make some very questionable decisions themselves. So Kennedy begins to tell his parents and his siblings that he thinks there is actually a snake inside of his body, and that's what had been in his throat and irritating his throat. So he was convinced that this snake had somehow gotten into him, and that is what was trying to crawl up his throat and was causing his throat issues, and is now way deeper into his body and was causing his stomach issues and was trying to control him.
Okay.
His brothers had found him around the house in a trance-like state, as they described, mumbling about the mark of the beast and talking about demons and being possessed and things like that. And at one point, he does try to actually attack his own mother, to the point where he tries to break down her bedroom door after she locks herself in there because he's so out of it. And he's like I said, he was having like fits of rage and just really uncharacteristic things were happening to him at this point. After he comes out of these states, he would sob and cry and pray and be asking God for forgiveness and to be cleansed because he didn't understand what was happening to him.
This sounds like possession.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So he also tells his brothers in one of these like kind of trance-like states that because he's like walking around in his boxers and he has his hands in his boxers, and his brothers are like, "What are you doing?" Whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I have to castrate myself, because that's the only way that I can get rid of this snake that is inside of my body." And so he said he wanted to cut off his own genitalia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then once again would come out of it crying, sobbing, praying, asking for forgiveness. The family was obviously extremely disturbed by all of this, and they were very deeply involved in a church called the Jesus Sanctuary Ministries Services, which is a pretty extreme Christian church. Some might call it a cult.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. These are not my words. This is just how it's been described
what you heard, yeah,
on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
People are describing it as a cult that started in Nigeria and now has one church in England and another church in America. In like it was like Louisiana or something weird.
Okay.
But it started in Nigeria and there's multiple churches around Nigeria. The leader guy seems pretty, in my opinion, wackadoodle.
Okay.
You know, he's like, "Oh, I find souls and I help them climb mountains and whatever." Like if you look at their pamphlets and stuff, you're like, "Okay, this is not great."
Yeah.
But apparently in Nigerian culture, being extremely both spiritual, Christian, and also superstitious is like a very big part of their culture. I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying that is even Nigerians themselves. On many of the articles that I read were like, "I'm Nigerian and it is nearly impossible to separate superstition from religion in our culture a lot of the time." So yeah.
Got it.
So that's what I'm saying. This is not, I don't know. I am neither Nigerian nor Christian, so I can't speak on it. This is just what I have heard.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
That's all. So since Kennedy was refusing to go to the doctor, which once again, this is just what his family had told people, that he was refusing to go to the doctor. The mother reaches out to the church, and a volunteer is sent out to the house to pray with them and give counsel to Kennedy. So this guy's name was Andrew, and he shows up, and in his own telling of the story, when he shows up, Kennedy looked very tired and was really quiet. He was looking at his cell phone a lot, and then they prayed with him, prayed over him, and when he left, he looked feverish and worse than when Andrew had arrived.
Okay.
That is his official.
Andrew said that.
Yes. And this is the guy from the church.
Got it. Who we don't necessarily trust.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Okay.
So after this, his dad, Kenneth, became convinced that his son was in fact possessed by a demon. His father and brothers began tying him down to the bed to restrain him. One of his brothers said that they had to do this because he had become so violent that he could have hurt someone in the family or even escaped and hurt somebody else out in like the wild. And there were marks and bruises on the family members when police did get involved eventually. And so for the next 3 days, his brothers took turns watching over him and praying over him, with his father coming in and praying over him and attempting to exorcise the demon from his son. Kennedy was becoming more and more sick, but was still allegedly so violent that they could not untie him. He also was attempting to hurt himself and his family members. So they said, like, we literally couldn't let him out of his restraints because he was not only trying to hurt himself, but also us.
Mm-hmm.
And he refused any food or water during this time. That is what they say. I don't know, once again, if it was offered. They're saying that they tried and it didn't work.
Got it.
So on the third day, he actually did end up suffering a seizure. And that is when one of his brothers eventually did call paramedics and say that Kennedy was suffering from dehydration. He called and said, "My brother is complaining that he is suffering from dehydration. Could we have paramedics arrive?" When they arrived, the family did not stop their exorcism and in fact continued chanting and praying while the paramedics worked on him. But unfortunately, he was declared deceased at the scene.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Even after he was declared dead, his family then continued to pray, chanting and thanking God for returning his soul to his own body and cleansing him. And at one point, one of the brothers was chanting and praying, saying, "You cannot remove a corpse from this room because there is no corpse in this room. He will be revived. My brother will be revived." And that sort of chanting.
It was just the family at this point?
Yes, just the family.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's 5 brothers and the mom and dad.
Mom and dad. Okay.
When they were investigating the scene, they found on the mom's bed that she had a spell of sorts written out on a piece of paper in case your offspring had been, quote, bewitched. And it said, quote, "If you feel your son is under a spell, pick up earth and throw it north, south, east, and west for 4 days. After that, there will be an encounter." And like I said, they were continually chanting and praying as the paramedics were working on their dead son. So paramedics said that as soon as they showed up, it was clear that he had been tied up and abused. He was covered in bruises. He had ligature marks on his wrists and on his feet. And when they first arrived, his body temperature was over 105 degrees, which any person knows. Anything over like 103, you need to go to the ER like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cause of death was a heart attack, most likely caused by severe dehydration. Like we said, he hadn't been drinking water or eating. I don't know if he was offered food or water. I do know when you get to a certain point of dehydration, like even drinking water cannot help. Like you literally have to have like a saline fucking IV or whatever. And when the brother did call the authorities, he said that, "Oh, my brother is complaining that he's dehydrated." So they had to have known what was happening to him. He had injuries from restraints, bruises on his body, and he also had what looked like self-inflicted bite marks on his skin. So he had been biting himself, which was something that the family did say was one of the reasons they felt he was possessed.
I feel like I don't want to say anything because I feel like you're getting at.
Well, we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm like scared to say anything.
So the family was arrested and charged with manslaughter, false imprisonment, and endangering an unwell adult. Like, so basically like not taking care of somebody who couldn't take care of themselves. The family pled not guilty, but they did go to trial, and officers did retrieve evidence that seemed like it had been hidden by the family after they called 999, which is 911, but for British people. They found a bag containing black handcuffs, cable ties, and wristbands that had been thrown into a neighbor's garden before they called the police to come check on, or the paramedics to come check on their brother. One of the brothers said that the only reason he did this is because he thought owning handcuffs was illegal and he didn't want to get in trouble.
Okay.
So this is where things get even more hinky. Like I said, there was a statement from a church member, that guy named Andrew, and he said that when he showed up, Kennedy was not restrained. There was nothing weird happening. All I did was pray over him, and he seemed sick for sure, but that he left, right? But a pathologist came back with their findings and said that there was evidence that Kennedy had been bound for like a certain amount of time, which would have meant that when the church members showed up, he would have already have been bound.
Okay.
And so the prosecution argued, well, maybe they untied him just because the church members were there. But then they weren't saying he acted erratic. But then obviously there are other people who believe that the church was encouraging this behavior. And so they did see him bound. But Kennedy's dad, Kenneth, said that he himself had instructed only his sons to use whatever force was necessary to keep Kennedy subdued and under control. So it's kind of like just a weird scenario.
So should I wait to ask questions?
No, ask questions now.
Okay. What I'm confused about is we have covered many possession stories before.
Yes.
And all the days leading up to this moment, he is experiencing very strange behavior on his own. He's not being restricted at this point. He's not being like held down. He's not being whatever. And he's still doing things that kind of sound like possession.
Yes.
So how do we know that it wasn't?
So they are all exonerated. All the charges are dropped.
Okay.
Or they're not found guilty, this family.
Okay.
Because people were like, we genuinely believe that they believe he was possessed. What I believe,
yes, tell me,
whether he's possessed or not, right? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't believe in that shit necessarily, but also I understand that there are things in this world I will never understand or believe, right? What to me seems so criminal is like clearly he like pray over him in a fucking bed in the hospital where he has IVs in his arm.
Yeah.
Like that to me is like what's so fucking evil. Like, okay, even if you believe that he's possessed, like let's just go like, yes, he's possessed, he's fully possessed, whatever, he needs to be tied down. Do it in a hospital where he has IVs in his arm and he's not going to die of dehydration, because he literally died of a heart attack caused by dehydration because he wasn't drinking water, that's something that medically could have just been avoided.
My other thought is typically men around the age of 26, 27
schizophrenia.
That's kind of when that occurs.
Yes.
So that was my other thought.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like the idea of him being possessed is a moot point at this point. Like whether or not you think he's possessed or whatever.
There still could have been ways that they could have done all these things in a safer
pray over him.
place.
Pray over him in a fucking hospital room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. I think that's what it drives. And like, I mean, every possession story we talk about, because I'm like, I just don't fucking know. Like my logical brain goes, absolutely not. People don't get possessed. But then there's also sometimes you hear stories or see things and you're like, whoa, like life is unexplainable. And what do I always say? Science is magic until you figure out it's science, right? Or beliefs are magic until you figure out where the science is.
Right.
We don't fucking know everything. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to be like shitting on them, being like, you fucking idiots, you believe in all this bullshit or whatever. It's like, you sometimes you see unexplainable shit and it's fucked up. But like, let's throw the science that we do have in there, because I do think they could have saved this kid's life.
So
if they would have just taken him to a hospital.
So my thought process is either, this is just what I think.
Yeah.
I think either he was schizophrenic and experiencing these behaviors, the family being very religious, maybe they were like embarrassed and they were pretend, like, because they're religious, like those religious people typically believe in demons, and so they even though they knew, they were still they were like creating this demon situation.
Okay, so some people, like I said, think that the church might have been afraid to admit that they were encouraging this behavior. And like I said, this is a very...
Well, if this church is a cult, they were doing something, probably.
Some people have called it a cult.
Allegedly.
I didn't call it a cult.
Not our words.
Some people have said it's a cult. But Jo, the mom, she actually did record parts of the exorcism and upload them to the church's YouTube page with the title like experiencing a demon, or like this is what demons look like or whatever. So like,
okay, but
it was uploaded to the church's YouTube page.
That feels like I don't want to blame the family for this, because I feel like they were just manipulated by the church, because as so many are when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think that these people did anything. I really don't.
Malicious.
I don't think that they were trying to hurt their child. I don't think that I really don't. I think that they were being manipulated by the church in this situation in every aspect.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm like,
which obviously sucks.
Yeah. And also it's like, this is what, once again, why I'm like, believe whatever you want as long as you're not hurting people, right? And that's why I'm like, whatever, pray over him, do your exorcisms, do it in a fucking hospital where he's hooked up to an IV so he doesn't have a heart attack because he hasn't had water in 8 days.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the thing that pisses me off, where I'm like, just because you can believe that shit, whatever, I don't care. Believe he's fucking, that he is possessed and that you need to pray over him and that you need to whatever, but do it in a hospital where he's safe, you know? Like, I'm not even saying don't do the thing that you believe that you're so connected to, but believe it, whatever. Just do it somewhere where you can keep the person physically safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a tricky one.
Yeah. But so Kennedy obviously passed away. His family was charged, but then I actually wasn't sure. I was reading the BBC article and I don't know if the judge dropped the charges or if they were just found not guilty. They didn't do it maliciously. They weren't trying to kill him. It was literally, they were convinced, the judge really did believe that they were convinced that he was possessed.
That's kind of what I think.
They really felt they were acting in their best, nature or something.
I think that he was schizophrenic and the church took advantage of that and took advantage of the fact that the family would listen to everything that they said.
So that is the story of Kennedy Ife.
That's really sad.
And his botched exorcism, which led to his unfortunate death at 26.
I had this story on my list for quite some time, but I thought it was a pure demonic possession story. I did not know I had not looked into it.
Yeah.
I just saw the exorcism.
Well, because once again, it's like, maybe, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I really don't know. And like, he was acting wild and like, who knows, right? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
So that's why I'm like, that almost is a moot point, whether or not he was fucking possessed. The point is he died of fucking dehydration. He had a heart attack because he was so dehydrated. He had a heart attack, right? Like, that could have been prevented.
Absolutely.
Possession or no possession. Possession, schizophrenia, mental breakdown, fucking food poisoning that just kept him up for so many hours that he literally was hallucinating and going crazy, right? It doesn't matter what the trigger is. Like, the idea is just fucking take someone to the hospital if they need help.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
It is a rough one. Yeah. But I think that's an important message to get out there. It doesn't matter what you believe or what you think's going on. Like, take him to the fucking hospital. Force them. You're forcing them to. You're like, that's the thing.
Yeah,
that
you're
annoyed
restraining
me.
them anyway.
I was
you're
gonna
holding
say,
them down. Just bring them to the hospital.
That's the thing that like annoyed me about like his family's whole story is they were like, well, we told him to go to the doctor and he didn't want to. And I'm like, okay, well, he also didn't want to be fucking handcuffed to a bed, but you did that. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And like, you literally didn't call anybody to come look at him until he had a seizure. And you were like, oh, I think he's dehydrated. And like the fact that they even knew he was dehydrated, like that even pisses me off. Because I'm like, so you know.
Yeah, and he was obviously crying out saying he was dehydrated.
Yeah.
That's what the brother said.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready to talk cryptids?
Oh, thank God, yes.
Thank God.
Sorry, my story was heavy.
No, it was. I know.
I always feel like I like to do those stories. I think they're important. But I also am like, it feels bad.
Somehow, some way, we always manage to not do two heavy stories on the same day.
Oh yeah, thank God.
Which is really good. That's
that is
really good for us. So today we're going to talk about the Lake Worth monster.
Ooh, fun.
Ooh.
Okay.
My sources were NorthAmericanCryptids.com, The Dallas News by Charles Scudder, Fort Worth Star-Telegram by Bud Kennedy, AIPTcomics.com, a book about this monster that was written by Lyle Blackburn, and fairytalesandmyths.com.
Love it.
So our story begins in the summer of 69. The summer of 69. I feel like I'm in a musical mood today. I keep singing.
That's the year my boyfriend's truck is from.
69.
69.
What a year it was.
Oh, what a year.
I actually do have a couple things that happened that year just because it was a big year. 1969.
Went to the moon in 1969. Not 1970, but a year sooner.
Oh, we do this every time.
Is it sooner or before?
It's sooner, I'm pretty sure.
I trust you over me.
There's also not 1968, but the year after.
That's why I think that's why I thought it was before, because after and before.
You know what? I think it's sooner, but we'll have to fact check that.
Listen, anything could happen. We don't know.
Slide into my DMs. I don't care. Also, the Manson family cult. That's when they did their murder spree.
Yes.
Killed Sharon Tate.
They called it the end of the summer of love.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Zodiac killer took its last known victim, the cab driver.
Mm-hmm.
And the big Woodstock festival.
Woodstock 69. Yeah.
A lot of things happening in 1969.
Of things happening.
And in this little town of Lake Worth, just outside of Fort Worth, Texas, in the summer of 69, they were dealing with something scary of their own.
Lay it on me.
Just so happened to be a couple weeks before we went to the moon, by the way.
Because it wasn't 1970, but a year
sooner.
Question mark?
Before. We don't know.
We don't know. Anything can happen.
The sighting that really kicked this whole thing into gear was on the evening of July 10th, 1969. A couple, John Reichardt and his wife Linda, had just recently moved to the area. And when he was at work that day, he kind of was asking a lot of the guys he worked with, like, hey, is there a good place to go fishing around here? I'm a big fisher.
Mm-hmm.
I want to catch some fish. And they're like, oh, yeah, down over at Lake Worth. Like, that's where we all go fishing. He's like, cool, great. Thank you so much.
You know, the name of the town.
Exactly.
Sorry, I put way too much ice in my mouth.
I noticed that. I was like, what are you rattling around in there? in that teeth cave of yours.
My teeth cave.
Just like hitting each individual tooth.
Like, ding, 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 ding. It's like when you're trying so hard to be quiet and then you drop like the smallest thing and it just like dinks off of everything in your house and you're like, fuck.
Oh, I heard it rattling around in there.
I know. I thought it was the smallest piece of ice, but it was connected to like 8 other pieces and they all came with.
And then they broke off.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh no. And then I was like, if I try to swallow these, I might die. But I can't chew on them because that's even louder.
Oh, yeah. The crunch of that. No, thank you.
So they were just dinging around in there.
Well, thank God there's no more ice in that cup.
Yeah.
So we're good. We are good now.
Good to go.
So later on that night after work, John and Linda head out to the lake. Linda is accompanying John while he's going to do a little night fishing. Like a good wife. Couldn't be me.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds fun.
Oh God.
You get to just read a book while he night fishes.
That's exactly what she does.
Really?
Oh my God. Are you Linda?
I might be.
That's crazy.
Because I would love to go and just have him be fishing and me reading a book. That's like ideal.
Wow, that's wild. So when they end up arriving to the lake, Linda looks around and she's like, okay, this place is kind of creepy. It's really dark. It's really secluded. This is actually a place where a lot of teenagers and young couples would often go to get it on, like a little lover's lane situation. And there were about 2 other cars that were parked around the area of the lake at this point.
They're all going.
Exactly. Now, even though the lake was really close to where the cars were, like even when you're down by the water, you can still see the car in full view. Linda is like, you know, it's really dark and kind of spooky out there. I'm just going to stay in the car and read my book because I don't want to be out in the dark.
Once again, literally me.
Yeah, it's a little spooky. Too spooky for me. And John's like, okay, that's fine. He grabs his fishing gear and he walks down to the edge of the lake. Not long after John begins to fish, he hears Linda screaming from the car.
Not a good start.
When he turns around, he sees in the distance someone or something jump out of a tree and right onto the hood of his car.
Oh, okay.
The thing then starts to crawl on the hood, heading towards the passenger side window where Linda is sitting.
Okay.
So John's like in fight or flight mode. He's like, what the fuck? I got to save my wife.
Yeah.
So he drops his fishing pole.
As you should.
Yeah, as a man should. He drops his fishing pole and he starts running straight to the car where he gets up close and personal to what he described as a large man-like monster covered in white fur.
Okay.
He said the creature was able to stand on 2 legs. It had horns on the top of its head and was glistening in the moonlight.
Okay, so it's kind of giving Yeti.
A little bit Yeti. He said he believed that the glistening was like scales on its body.
Okay.
Which is interesting because it had fur.
Hair.
Yeah, it had like fur and scales. So it's like very tall, 7 feet tall, horns, white fur, but also scales.
Okay, interesting.
John and the creature allegedly have some sort of altercation. Or John tries to like fight it off the car. And then he's able to jump into the driver's side and he steps on the gas and fucks it. Fucks it. He fucks it. Just kidding. He fucking books it.
They get down super fucking hard, raw, no condom.
That's what happens when you say words too fast.
And
guys.
then I freaked him.
Fucking books it is what I meant to say. Out of there as fast as he can. John starts driving onto the nearest highway. And as they're driving, they can see a cafe not too far down the street that has its lights on. So it's like the only thing open because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
They immediately pull into the parking lot, run inside the cafe, and they're like, you know, disheveled. They're shaken up and they're like, we need to use your phone.
Yeah, something horrifying just happened.
They call the police. The police end up coming to the cafe because they're like, we need to figure out what's going on. These people are hysterical. So they come to the cafe and they hear the story firsthand from the Reicherts. And obviously the police are like, what are these people talking about? That's an insane story. Like, what an insane thing to say to us right now. But even though, you know, they thought this is a wild tale these kids are telling, they did believe something had to have happened to the couple because they were very clearly, visibly like shaken up. They were distraught about something they had just seen. John also brought the police out to look at his car because as they drove away, the creature had actually clawed at the car.
Oh, shit.
And he left an 18-inch long, deep claw mark on the side of it.
Oh, my God.
So now they have this like physical evidence that kind of made the police be like, okay, like even though this is an insane story, something had to have happened down by the lake.
Yeah.
Because what is that?
Yeah.
So as the police are still at the cafe speaking with John and Linda, 2 other cars end up pulling into the cafe.
Okay.
And it just so happens to be the other 2 couples that had been parked at Lake Worth that were like getting it on in their cars while John and Linda were there.
Yeah.
So these 2 couples jump out of their cars and start telling the police that they both had been attacked by a white furry creature that looked like half man, half goat.
Yeah. What are the chances?
We got a goat man, people.
We got a goat man. Put it on your list.
Put it on the list. We got a goat man. So the police, even though like they're still slightly skeptical about this because obviously weird, right?
Goat man.
Goat
Not
man.
ideal.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
They had actually gotten calls over the past 2 months of sightings of a creature down by the lake. So this wasn't the first time that they had heard about something like this.
Okay, so there's other corroborating evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But this was the first time, obviously, they're hearing about it attacking people and seeing firsthand like how shaken up these couples are.
Okay, so the other people had just like seen it.
Yeah, they were like,
and,
hey, we saw
reported
like
it.
this creature
Okay.
down by the lake, but nobody had ever encountered it until now.
Okay.
And obviously the police, now there's 6 people
Yeah.
that are saying the same thing that don't know each other. So the police are like, obviously this is not something we can just ignore at this point.
Yeah.
The police end up driving down to the lake to search for the creature like that night, and they look all over, but they do not find anything. The next day, an article appears in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram by a journalist named Jim Mars with the headline, "Fishy man goat terrifies couples parked at Lake Worth."
Fishy man goat. Okay.
Fishy man goat. I mean, he's got horns, he's got fur, and he's got scales.
Girl, we've all been there.
What else is he? He's a fishy man goat.
We've all been there.
We've all fucked a fishy man goat at one point in our lives.
It's a rite of passage.
So naturally, like this headline, this article alarms the people of Lake Worth.
Yeah,
they're like, what the hell is this? This is crazy. And a lot of the people are like, okay, time to go find this fishy goat man. Like we gotta get together as a town.
Yeah.
We gotta form a mob.
Get your pitchforks.
And we gotta find this fishy goat man.
Yeah. Get your pitchforks, get your fucking torches.
Yeah.
Everything
Kill
you need.
the beast.
Kill the beast.
Which is kind of a crazy thing considering he is dangerous and has now attacked 6 different people. But you know what? When there's a mob, there's a way.
I always am saying that.
So by that evening, literally the night that article has come out in the paper, a crowd of about 50 people, including sheriffs and park rangers, gather at Lake Worth to try and hunt down this creature.
Okay.
At some point that evening, every single person in this group saw what they describe as a large man-looking creature run up this grassy ridge that was alongside the lake. The thing ran back and forth a couple times and then made a sound that they described as a pitiful cry.
Oh.
I imagine.
Feel bad for him now.
What my cat sounds like at 3 a.m.
Why is it not dinner time? It's 3 a.m. That's why it's not dinner time.
Mm-hmm. That's what I would imagine. It haunts my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And then it disappears for a few seconds. And the next thing they see is a truck tire with the metal wheel attached to it fly from the cliff over their heads to the other side of the lake.
Okay. Wow.
Which they said was about 400, 500 feet.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Within seconds, every single one of these 50 people just starts scattering around, running amok, running for their lives, freaking out.
Yeah, they're freaked out, man.
One guy ends up getting into his car and he backs into a tree before he speeds away. Okay. He's just like, doesn't know what to do. Yeah. It was pure chaos. Not the best creature hunting crew, if you ask me. But you know what?
You got to have a tough spine for that creature hunting.
Listen, when there's a mob, there's a way.
Exactly.
So right after this, obviously another article comes out in the paper talking about this tire throwing incident.
Mm-hmm.
And more people are having encounters with this creature as the weeks go on. So a man named Jim Stevens, he comes out and he says that he was out by the lake with a group of guys fishing when they saw the creature. He said he was real big and human-like with burn scars all over his face, arms, and chest.
Okay.
The men ran back to their cars and the thing jumped on the hood of Jim's Mustang. So it's like holding on to the top of Jim's Mustang and Jim starts to swerve back and forth, like trying to get this thing to fling off.
Yeah.
But he's literally holding on for dear life. Like this fucking thing has claws, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until Jim drove his Mustang straight into a tree that the creature flew off and then ran into the woods.
Okay. That's surely something.
Yeah. Which I'm like, if this creature wants to attack people, he literally could have just like jumped off the car, grabbed Jim out of the car and just like
it's a little confusing.
Like, why is he running away?
If he's this strong and whatever, why is he not?
And if he is trying to attack people, so why is he running away?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
Be about it.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, be about it. I don't know what to tell you.
Like,
if you're going to be about killing and attacking, you might as well be good at it.
Yeah. Like, what? You're all talk?
All talk. No walk.
That's right. That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
Another man named Charles Buchanan, he was fishing. And he had went up to the back of his pickup truck and he was like, I'm going to take a little nap because it was like dark. And he was like, I'm just going to nap in my pickup truck. And as he's sleeping in his sleeping bag in the back of his truck, something grabs his entire body, picks him up and starts to try to like walk away with him. He ends up like shimmying out of the sleeping bag and he sees this giant creature. So he ends up throwing a bag of chicken that he had
Okay.
Like, you know,
everyone has their handy dandy bag of chicken.
You need to have a bag of chicken. If you're going to be sleeping in the woods, you have to have a bag of chicken.
Why not attract every wild animal that's ever existed? Well, keep a hot bag of chicken.
This bag of chicken saved his life, Cassidy. Okay, because he threw the bag of chicken, and you know what the creature did? The creature was like, chicken, and started running.
This guy's not very smart.
He wanted to eat some chicken. Who doesn't? He grabbed
I don't want your pocket chicken.
So he grabs the chicken, and then he ends up jumping into the lake and swimming towards Greer Island, which is on the other side of the lake.
Now you got wet pocket chicken. What are we doing here?
You know, he's not picky. He just wants his chicken. He doesn't care if it's wet.
Well,
and I didn't say it was fried chicken, so maybe it was like fine.
I don't think I want wet rotisserie chicken either.
He's a goat man.
I was assuming just like a bag full of rotisserie, like shredded rotisserie chicken.
You think the goat man gives a fuck what he's eating? Do you even know the goat man?
He can't even attack properly, so I don't really know if I trust this man's intuition this goat man's intuition in any way.
Well, Charles watched as the goat man, or this creature,
the fishy goat man
started. Apparently, he's a really good swimmer. He's really fast too, and he can swim with chicken. So that's impressive. You know what I mean?
Bish bash bosh.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. A few weeks later, a local woman named Sally Ann Clark. She was not an inspiring novelist, an aspiring novelist.
Her novel's actually the opposite of inspiring.
She was
depressing.
Apparently, the article I read said romance novelist, which is very different from what she ends up writing. But she does take it upon herself to write a book called The Lake Worth Monster of Greer Island.
Does somebody fuck the monster?
Oh, that would be sick. In a good way.
Yeah, man. Shape of Water won Oscars.
You know what, Sally? Maybe your book, you would have made more money from it if you wrote that book.
People love that. People are real monster fuckers out there.
I believe it. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, technically, Twilight, you're fucking a monster. That's a vampire. Nosferatu. Did they fuck Frankenstein? Probably not.
I mean, I don't. Maybe in the movie. They don't in the book.
I'm sure someone fucked him. But she publishes this book in September of 1969. So all of this is happening in July, all throughout the summer, and she publishes the book in September.
Okay.
So literally less than 2 months after this happened.
Okay.
The book ends up being like a mix of fact and fiction. She had actually come to the area and she interviewed some people that claimed to see the creature themselves. But she did add this like fantastical story of her own sighting in the book that hadn't actually happened.
Got it. Okay. So there's a little bit of fiction going on.
I didn't read the book. Maybe that was the love story. Maybe she fucked.
That's where she fucked
him. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, she probably would have sold more copies if she did.
Gotta know your niche.
But she does claim that way later on, after she publishes the book, that she did in fact encounter the monster for real on 3 separate occasions.
Got it. Okay.
So maybe she should have waited a little bit to write this book.
Sounds like it.
She actually did say in an interview a couple years later, if I'd seen it before I wrote the book, it wouldn't have been semi-fiction. It would have been like history.
God, not dramatic at all.
Girl, you effed up.
Girl, you effed that thing.
You fucked that thing, didn't you?
I know you fucked him.
Did you? Tell me. Where's the sequel?
She's like, that's on herstory.
That's herstory, baby.
Feminism. Fucking the monster.
Anyway, so this other guy, he's like this 22-year-old dude named Alan Plaster. He reads Sally Ann Clark's horny little book. Mm-hmm. And he decides he's going to go out and look for the monster.
I'm also going to fuck this monster.
I'm going to fuck that monster.
I'm
if
next.
It's the last thing I do.
So he goes out with a pocket full of condoms and
I thought you were going to say like something sexy, like to entice chicken.
A pocket full of chicken.
A pocket full of chicken.
And the other one's full of condoms.
That's right. That's all you need for a good time.
With this monster.
Apparently. So he's like, I got to find this monster. So he like patrols along the area multiple nights with his Polaroid camera because he's like, I'm going to find the monster. I'm going to take a picture of the monster because everyone wants to see him.
Yeah, duh. I'm going to send it into Penthouse.
Exactly. He's going to literally be on the cover of Playboy. So after 4 months of searching, on November 19th, Alan Plaster and his friends are driving down Shoreline Drive around 1:30 a.m. when they see the monster standing on the side of the road. And this is where he takes a Polaroid photograph of what is believed to be the Lake Worth monster.
Okay, I need to see this, obviously.
You do need to see it, obviously.
Oh. That's a shape.
Can you describe the photo to the audio listeners?
It kind of looks like, you know those chickens that have afros?
It does.
Kind of looks like that.
A teenage chicken, right? Isn't that the teenagers?
It's like a specific brand. Or, I don't know. Species, not brand. Sorry, I've been capital. What? Okay.
It literally could be a chicken. I don't know.
It looks like a person who is wearing this rug that we're on.
Oh my God, it does.
As a hood.
It does.
It's just a big fuzzy white
thing.
Shape.
Mm-hmm.
No discernible arms, legs.
I mean, it could be just the back of him facing the woods. Like, I don't know.
No, I know, but like what? There's no slit for his legs.
Yeah, I don't know.
How fuzzy is this guy?
How fuzzy was he?
Okay. I mean, I see it. I understand it.
Yeah, no, this is just, okay. Listen, this is the Polaroid. This is what I'm showing you.
No, I get it. This is your journalistic integrity.
I report the news. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that is the photo. That is, obviously this photo has since gone viral when it comes to this monster. A lot of controversy. We don't know. This
will be on the YouTube and on our Instagram, obviously.
People are like, that's it. This is the guy. Other people are like, that's clearly fake.
Yeah.
Years later, in 2006, Alan Plaster, he did an interview where he said, listen, I saw what I saw. I took this photo. Mm-hmm. It's very possible that this was like someone pranking me dressed in a gorilla costume.
Yes.
Okay. Because, you know, that's a lot of the theories that had been put forth by police.
But he's saying like, I was not involved in that.
Yes. He's saying
I was also
being pranked.
Discombobulated.
If that was the case, I was being pranked. Like I saw what I saw. He said, however, you know, whatever this was clearly wanted to be seen because it didn't run away.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know, but that is what I saw. And that's the picture I took.
Okay.
There's a lot of skeptics out there, obviously, that believe that this entire thing with every encounter is nothing more than teenagers playing pranks on the town. Even though there are many witnesses to this, you know, the whole tire throwing situation, which is like, it wasn't even just a tire. Like humans obviously can throw tires, like if they're strong enough.
Yeah.
But it was a truck tire with the wheel attached, which is much heavier. So that's a little harder. And also 500 feet, very difficult thing I would imagine to do.
Yeah.
But this has really become a local legend in the town of Fort Worth, especially because after November of 1969, the Lake Fort Worth monster was never seen again in that area.
Okay. You said in that area, like was it seen other places?
Well, 40 minutes away from Lake Worth is Denton County.
Okay.
And this is where a very, very, very well-known bridge is located called Old Alton Bridge.
Yes, the Goatman Bridge.
Goatman's Bridge.
Yeah.
40 minutes is not
far. So maybe he
was
just on vacation for the summer.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like 40 minutes is not far.
He was just taking a quick little vacay.
And they said, like,
same, brother.
Listen, Goatman, that's what they described him as. Goatman's Bridge is literally so freaking close to that. We probably will end up doing an episode on Goatman's Bridge because that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But I did just want to like put that out there because what if he does, let's say he lives under that bridge and he is a goat man in that area.
What, you think he doesn't deserve a vacation every once in a while?
What if he just wanted to bop on over to Lake Worth?
He wanted to terrorize a couple new people, okay?
Yeah.
It's not his fault.
It's not his fault.
It got stale over there on the bridge.
He was a little bored. He was like, I need to bop over and terrorize some new people.
It's the summer of 69, baby. I can't make it all the way to Woodstock.
He said, it's the summer of 69 and I'm going to fuck some new people.
I'm going to eat some bags of chicken.
That's right.
I don't care if it's wet.
That's right. That's what he said.
That's exactly what he said, for sure.
He was a beetle, if you guys didn't know.
He was bigger than the Beatles.
That's right.
And he didn't care how wet that chicken was.
It was so wet.
And it was wet as hell, let me tell you. It was literally in a lake.
And he ate that shit up.
He doesn't even care.
So
raw dogged.
Just like Sally did.
Just like Sally.
But yeah, that is my little story of the lake. What is it? The Lake Worth monster.
Love it. That was great.
Yeah.
I support him and his vacation ideals. I think that it's great that he made it out there and he did the thing.
I love him.
Good for him.
Yeah. And we got to cover Goatman's Bridge at some point.
Yes. It's been like on my list for fucking ever. We'll just see who gets to it first.
There's also the Maryland Goatman. There's a couple different Goatmans. I think this is the first time we've had a Goatman.
Goatmen are populating the earth.
Yeah.
And the girls are going crazy.
They're going wild.
Once again, bigger than the Beatles. People are throwing their bras in the lake and stuff. It's crazy.
I would absolutely. I'll
throwing their bras full of chicken.
Full of chicken. I was going to say, I'll fill that bitch with chicken. My bra's pretty small, so it's not going to hold much. But yours.
There's just suicidal chickens showing up, shaking their shit too. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, that was great. I love that.
Thank you.
And I love a good weird little guy.
Yeah, I love this just fuzzy little picture of him too.
So fuzzy. That's me getting a handful of cheese in the middle of the night when I'm wearing my Snuggie.
Like hunched over with your Snuggie.
Hunched and no leg slit.
No.
You genderless, formless, but handful of cheese for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
You're
How
welcome.
about we finish this off with a listener story?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So we have a listener story from Haley.
Hello,
who
Haley.
is actually one of our cool kids.
Oh.
And Haley says, "Hey, dudes. Feel free to read this on the pod." Oh, we feel free.
Here we are.
My name is Haley, and I have been listening to the podcast since 2022. Hearing you guys and your stories has been extremely healing for me throughout all of these days. I've recently been re-listening to the podcast, and I'm on episode 71, where Cassidy talks about near-death experiences.
Ooh.
I don't think my experience counts as near-death. However, I do feel like I may have something under this category. Anyways, I dabble in psychedelic mushrooms.
Nice.
And I had this chocolate bar that was infused with roughly 4 grams of psilocybin because, of course, we want to have our minds as open as possible. So I ate the whole bar.
Good.
I had some visuals, but no hallucinations. And maybe an hour or two in, not sure, because I also figured out during this trip how time is literally just a concept. And to help us cope with our planet, it does not exist otherwise. I reached this level of pure love, and I thought I was on another plane of existence. I somehow knew I would never see my family again, which didn't happen because I had elevated, if you will, to the next level.
Nice.
/ plane of existence, whatever you want to call it.
I think I want to be on that level.
I can help you with that, baby. I was still happy knowing this because I could feel all of their love in my heart, and I knew everything would be okay. I don't know. It was just really intense. It was just a really intense, euphoric moment of pureness. Also, on a different trip, I had the auditory hallucinations of my family talking to me, trying to get me out of my coma. Oh my God.
Oh.
Okay, Buffy. Could hear the hospital beeps and the nurses and everything. Part 2, ? Let me know. Love you guys and never stop. Obviously, I want a part 2. Do you think that you are in a coma, Buffy style?
Oh, no.
That's my least favorite episode of Buffy because it gives me anxiety.
Yeah, that's giving me anxiety just thinking about it.
Oh my God, you're not even in this world. This is your fake coma world, which we've told stories like that before.
We have, yeah.
Like the guy with the lamp.
The dream, right?
The dream, yeah. He got knocked out and he was in a coma for like 7 minutes. And he lived a whole life.
And then
the lamp started looking weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Couldn't be me. Haley, yes, obviously we want a part 2. Clearly. Thank you for being a cool kid. And you're not in a coma, I promise. Anyone out there listening right now, I can promise you, you're not in a coma. If anything, you're in my coma.
If anything, you're in hell listening to us.
You're in my coma. That's hell.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
I created you specifically for this coma. Don't you feel special? So thank you guys so much for listening. If you have a story you'd like to send in, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. You can also find ways to support us on there, like our merch page, our Patreon, which we have complete coverage of the crazy documentary series, Anatomy of Lies, which is about this woman who lied about having cancer to get on Grey's Anatomy. It's a whole thing. You definitely want to check it out. Is crazy town.
It's wild.
We also have a new episode on there about a serial killer for our serial killer series. It's kind of like a folklore / serial killer one that Amanda covered. So make sure you go check that out as well. And of course, we have our shot of Kool-Aid for this month and our ad-free listening. So go find our Patreon. It's only $2 a month. You can do that.
You can do it.
And thank you guys so much for listening. If you can't afford to do any of that right now, make sure you go drop 5 stars wherever you listen. All the reviews help way more than you even realize. And a lot of people don't do it just because they don't think to do it. So
yeah, please do it.
Just do it.
I want to see it. I'm looking.
She's looking.
I'm looking.
But most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.